Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's show is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is a hosted website builder that allows you to quickly and easily get a clean and professional website up and running for your computer or tech-focused business. Save time and frustration with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. Also, it's brought to you by the DC Unconvention 2017, the second annual conference for IT business owners. Learn from fellow techs and business owners, get business strategies that work in the real world, and discover new tech. Learn more at unconvention.io. On today's show, we talk with Deb LaFlamme from For the Love of Your Biz. She's going to chat about creating and curating an online marketing plan. She'll answer questions like what to post on social media, when to post it, and how often. Plus, we'll talk about some ingenious ideas for schwag, and Paco makes an off-camera appearance with a quick tip for better business networking results. All that and so much more coming up right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com. You can also catch the live stream on Facebook. So here's a change to my little scripted thing that I always read. We're going to be changing the live stream. So this is the last week that we're going to be live streaming on Wednesdays. Starting next week, we're going to be live streaming on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let me go ahead and actually change that in my script before I forget. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That way, that'll give you guys time to get done with work, get home. If you're on the East Coast, you can eat dinner and then kind of sit back and relax and all of that stuff. Hopefully, it still gives folks that are around the world some good opportune time to tune in as well. So that's the big change. Now the show is going to be live streaming at Thursdays on 7 p.m. To check it out, just go to Facebook, like the TechSite Builder Facebook page, and then click on the following tab and select See First so that you can see the live stream jump to the top of your Facebook feed. So if you're browsing and looking at cat videos, then you can have the Computer Business Marketing Show pop up in for you there. All right, guys. So I'm real excited today to have Deb LaFlamme. She's from For the Love of Your Biz. I just love that as a business name, by the way.
Thank you.
She's going to be teaching us we're going to be having a conversation about how to create and curate an online marketing plan. So, all these different things you can do to market your business online. How do we curate that into something that's actionable and make a plan out of it, and then where do we focus our attention and all of that stuff. She's got a lot of knowledge to share with us. So she's going to be hanging out with us throughout the show and help answer any questions we have, but we'll be jumping into that interview here pretty soon. Before we do that, I just wanted to take a peek in the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group. If you search in Facebook for Computer Business Marketing, you can find it. And in that group, we talk all about different techniques and strategies that we can use to market our computer businesses, our IT services business, whether you're a computer repair shop or a solo consultant who's doing this part-time, or if you're a MSP that's raking in six figures, maybe even millions of dollars in revenue. We've got topics that'll cover the whole gamut. And really, marketing is the same no matter how big you are. It's just how much of it you're doing and how much money you can put into it. Other than that, it's all about relationships and getting your message out there. So what I like to do in this segment is just kind of take a look at some of the things that have been happening in the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group. One post that I wanted to draw attention to was where I asked about schwag, or I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Schwag for your business, and what you like to use and stuff. So a lot of folks like to get stuff to put their logo on and then hand it out. Typical things are like pens and maybe t-shirts and a notepad and stuff like that. Patrick Palmer had a great idea to put his logo on a Frisbee And then when he's doing the parades, and he does a lot of parades. If you don't know Patrick Palmer, he does like nonstop parades all summer long. And he'll take the Frisbee and throw it out, to the crowd as he's driving. And I think that's an awesome idea. It's fun. It gets people excited and engaged. And then when they grab it, then they have it's like limited edition. Not everyone can get a Frisbee. And so that's kind of cool. I like that idea. So that's something to think about. It might not work as well if you're not in a parade, because then you're just like throwing Frisbees to random people or whatever, but you can give them out too. But I think that's a cool idea. Deb, do you do schwag, or have you seen any cool schwag ideas?
Yeah, so it's funny because I don't have a lot of schwag for myself. I do like to say the word, but a lot of my clients do. Anywhere from t-shirts to sun visors. I have seen the Frisbees. I love the sand shovels, that people go to the beach all summer and they're taking it with them. Also, of course, water bottles are really good. And coffee mugs, really you can't go wrong with that. But I do love the limited edition idea. I think having there be a small collection of mugs that, you're just you're the 20 people that get this mug, or, I do like the idea of throwing things at people. So in a parade or at a concert, you can throw t-shirts. They always have those guns that they can shoot at yes. Sporting events.
Next level, get your own t-shirt cannon.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. But I just think being creative is important. And you'd be surprised how far some of the marketing collateral can go. One idea I do want to share that I think is really fun is not actually a mug or a mouse pad or a pen or a sticky note like everybody else does. But I have a client that wanted to do some professional networking, really wanted to partner with other people to get professional referrals. And they ordered very different flavored popcorn from a local popcorn company up in Maine. And they had their labels put on, their branding put on the popcorn. And it said, I'd love to pop into your office and tell you about our services. And they mailed them, they shipped them in these adorable boxes. And people were calling, first of all, the popcorn's amazing. Second of all, what a creative idea. And when can we schedule that phone call? Or can we pop on the phone, or can we pop online to have a chat about my business and your business? So I don't always think it has to be a Frisbee or a t-shirt, right? Which could be really expensive. But if you wanted to come up with creative ideas to get into other businesses or even into homes, you could absolutely be creative with wording and messaging and then add something to it. Gum or, other things.
Food is a great idea.
Yeah. You have to be careful depending on who your audience is. But who doesn't love a little creative, fun flavored package of popcorn? It doesn't cost a lot, but it goes a long way. The message goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Butter up your clients, as it were.
I like that pun. Good. You're good. Okay. You win.
Another post in the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group that I thought one answer was in particular very cool was I asked the question for networking events, how do you leverage them to get more business? And, Paco is no longer a co-host on the show, but he's still with us in spirit and he's still answering questions in the Facebook group. And here's a gem from Paco. His answer was, the one thing to keep in mind is not everyone will be your customer. In an effort to see which person will be a qualified lead, I start with this tactic. And this is, again, during a networking event or something. Mm-hmm. If the person approaches me first and asks what I do, I immediately switch the conversation to them. I use the phrase, why don't you tell me what you do? And I can see if I can be of help or value. This works for two reasons, he says. Number one, it's because everyone loves to talk about their baby, quote unquote baby, their business. And number two, it helps you decide if this is the right type of client for you. Not only does this help you with tailoring your pitch for that lead, but it also turns out that if they're not a good fit for you, you can then give them an overview of your business and move on to the next person. So that's, I like the specifically where he says tailoring the pitch or tailoring, your conversation is to quickly, ask them about their business, and folks love talking about themselves. So
oh my God. Yeah, they definitely love talking about themselves. I've never met an audience that doesn't want to give you their opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. So let them, right?
Right.
Awesome. And then, yeah, so I think that's a great way of doing it. Instead of just talking yourself up, ask them about their needs and then see how you can be of help to them. So great words of wisdom from the mighty Paco LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's some examples of some of the cool conversations we have going on in the Facebook group. If you guys want to jump in there, again, just search for Computer Business Marketing in Facebook. We also have a link in the show notes, and you could find that group, and we'd love to have you there. All right. So before we jump into the interview, I want to give a quick shout out to our first sponsor, and that is TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is the place you can go to create a website for your computer business. It makes the whole process super easy, super stress-free, and really it just allows you to get that effective website, and that's the keyword, effective website, up and running quickly. So, you can go off to the cheapo places where you can get a website for free or super cheap and build it out yourself, but they don't help you along with, crafting your content, with putting the types of information in the right spot, with having the contact information front and center. TechSite Builder does all of this. It also is SEO optimized, search engine optimized from the ground up. So it makes it really easy for you to optimize all your pages for search engines. And we also continually roll out things that are specifically geared to helping computer business owners. Things like, tons of different stock photography you can use of, motherboards and people repairing computers, or, business settings or network type images and stuff, and we have all those available for you, so you don't have to go out and buy your own. We hold webinars to teach you how to do things like create content for your website, do SEO for your website, all that kind of stuff. We help you along, and it's all specifically geared to computer business owners, so you know that you are getting the maximum effectiveness out of your website for the particular business that you're in. So I urge you, if you haven't visited your website in a while, or it's a headache for you, or you just don't want to bother with it, or it's not being effective for you, it's not bringing in the clients, it's not turning those visitors into leads for you, then check out TechSite Builder. Head on over to techsitebuilder.com and sign up. Super easy, super affordable, and we'd love to see you over there. And then before I forget, we also offer concierge services. So if TechSite Builder allows you to set up the website yourself, but if you just don't have the time or the inclination to do that, we can do it all for you using our concierge services. So no matter what, if you're a hands-on kind of person, or if you're just too busy and you want to leave it to some other folks, we'll take care of that for you. We have all the options available for you at techsitebuilder.com. All right, so let's jump into the featured topic. Today we have Deb LaFlamme, and her business is called For the Love of Your Biz, and she's going to teach us about curating and creating an online marketing plan. Before we do that, though, Deb, if you could just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today and what it is you do these days.
Sure. So thank you, Matthew, whatever we want to call you today.
Whatever.
Thank you for having me. As he mentioned, I am Deb LaFlamme. I am the owner and chief ideapreneur at For the Love of Your Biz. I help small to mid-sized business owners do better, really focus on how to love their biz again. Because I know that all of us, and I'm a small business owner myself, we are wearing a lot of hats. We are trying to do all the things, right? We know as a business owner, we have to do certain things in order to grow our business or even to maintain our business. You might be in a position where you are very happy where things are. But at the end, at the very bottom of that to-do list, 9 times out of 10 is marketing. And I know if you're in Matt's group, it's because you want to market your business. And so my premise is built on the fact that you are amazing at what you do. You know your business like the back of your hands, but maybe your creative well runs dry when it comes to marketing your business better. And so I know Matthew's in my group. I have a private Facebook group that's free where I give you ideas to help your creative juices flow so that you are feeling fresh and you are feeling like you are reaching your dream client using online marketing.
Yeah, because you don't want it to feel like a chore, when you go to post on social media and you're like, oh, I got to figure out what to post again. And And you want it to be inspired, and you want it to be exciting, and you want it to be a way to engage with your audience and stuff. And so I love your group because, when you are in that slump and you're like, I'm not sure what to share, you'll have some great ideas for folks to some different tactics or different like ideas for images and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. If it's feeling heavy for us as business owners, it is going to feel heavy for your consumers, for your clients, for your fans, for your followers, for your subscribers. I mean, I've opened up emails from businesses and I'm like, yeah, delete. Not in the mood, not inspired. They're not teaching me anything, right? So we have to, as business owners, inspire. We have to tell our story. We have to announce that there's a problem and that you have the solution to it. And I do that with my clients and with the people who follow me is by really jumpstarting their creative motor. There is not an industry, I cannot think of one industry that could not benefit from marketing their business better. It doesn't matter if you have a brick and mortar or if you're an online business. It doesn't matter if you are a septic company or a Fortune 500 business internationally. It doesn't matter. There is something that you can inspire your fans and followers with.
And I like you mentioned earlier to tell your story. And I think that's something that not a lot of us in the IT world do enough of.
You hide behind your services, right?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we just look like another computer repair company. And really, your story is the one unique thing about your business. And I think people are just afraid or they don't think people care. But I think that's something that's worth exploring because it really humanizes you and it helps people connect with you and it sets you apart.
Right. So ironically, I came to this business. I've owned my own company for 6 years for Love of Your Biz. And I'm not even really sure how I came to that name, except for the fact that I grew up saying for the love of God. I'm not sure why, probably when I was having an aha moment. But I knew that my heart and my soul was connected to marketing, but also a lot of business strategy. And prior to starting my own company, I owned an online website. And what was happening was I was the middleman between, it was a hyper-local destination website with a calendar for moms and young mothers and families to find out what was happening around town for their families and their children. And what was happening was the businesses that were my advertisers were coming to me and saying, God, I love how you're connecting us to your people. Can you teach us how to do that? They didn't want my brand to do it, but they wanted me to, and people were becoming more savvy online. So what happened was I opened up for the Love of Your Biz, meaning that you get to do what you love and I'll help you do the rest as far as marketing and reaching your customers. Because it's not always everyone's favorite piece of their business is talking to the people, engaging with the people, asking questions. So that's how For the Love of Your Biz was born. And it became so successful that I got rid of the hyperlocal website and was able to focus on my clients who wanted me to teach them everything I could about social media marketing and email marketing.
Cool. So, so let's dig into the whole marketing plan idea.
Yeah.
First of all, what is just the benefits that you've found of actually having a set plan for this stuff?
So oftentimes people shoot from their hip. As far as a marketing plan goes, right? That's their plan. And I always, you've seen me in my group say, how's your plan working for you? Do you wake up every day and go, oh, I have an idea. Let me post that on social media. Or, oh, I have an idea. Maybe I'll put a sale together, right? Raise your hand, put a yes in the comments. If you guys know that you're like, oh, that's an idea. Let me go put that on Facebook. So that's working harder and not smarter as far as marketing goes. All of these ideas don't have to be implemented right now. They can be implemented in a couple of days or next week or next month. And actually, it takes a lot of the pressure off if you take these ideas and put them into a strategy. And I think I've told you about my content calendar tool that I have, which everyone's welcome to grab. It's free. Basically, it helps you outline what it is you want your current, past, even future customers to know about your business. And I love this because it's really a customizable tool. There are no two businesses that should be marketing exactly the same way. And Matt, I know I've told you that there's no magic schedule, right? No business you can't download a free list of how many times you should be posting on Facebook or how many times on Twitter or how many times you should go live. You really have to have it be personal to your business. Now, you will find what your fans want. You will find what time they're online, when they engage with you. And that's how you build that strategy. Like, my fans are online at 8 p.m. at night, so I should be talking to them at that time during the week and not at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning when I wake up and have an idea. Yeah. And I think that it's hard because people say, well, what do I say? And so, it's interesting. I tell people all the time, look at the big brands that you admire. Look at the businesses that inspire you. And then do that in your own voice with your own brand, and watch what happens when you organically speak to the people who are following you and tell your stories.
Right. I think that's a great idea, is to take inspiration from other folks who are doing it well, because, it's not stealing. It's, of course, they probably saw it from someone else, and that's why they're doing it. But it's, there's nothing new under the sun, really. So you just got to kind of draw the inspiration from other people. And I know there's not a lot, but there are a few, computer business owners that are out there that are doing really good stuff with video and social media posting and stuff. And I draw inspiration from them, and you can as well. Don't worry if you think like your clients are going to think that you're just doing the same thing as everybody else, because your clients aren't seeing these other people doing this stuff. Those guys are in other areas of the country and have other, audiences. It's your clients and your audience, and normally it's local for computer businesses. So your local clients and your local audience hasn't seen all of that stuff. And so it's going to be a novel thing to them to see, these videos and these social media posts that you're going to be doing, even though you're kind of drawing from the inspiration of other people doing the same thing.
Right. And you put your own spin on it. You put your own branding, your own images. It's your voice. And that's what I love about social media and videos and email marketing, is the reason I show up in my business on video so often is because when I write a blog, when I type a blog, I actually type how I speak and realize that it's harder for me to take my thoughts and put it into a blog post. So therefore I skip that whole step. And I come on and I share what I've learned or what I want to learn, more often not via video. It's in my voice. So it might be an idea that I've seen from someone in the industry. It might not, but it doesn't matter because it's in my voice, with my messaging, with my experience. And that's, I think, the piece that you mentioned earlier with the stories. We have to tell the stories. Nothing sells service more than someone just came in, they spilled water on their motherboard, and here's how I helped them. Because we've all been in a situation where a cup of coffee has landed on our keyboard, even though we know we're not supposed to be drinking coffee or eating anything. I mean, I keep seeing you reach. How far away is your water from your machine?
It's not far enough.
But my point being that we can all relate to that, right? And so when I speak to people who are in business, I know that they struggle with what to post on Facebook. And so I share what my clients are doing, because you can all relate to the people that I'm helping. You are one of them. And so when you talk to a client, when you talk about a client, you're actually talking to a prospective client. It's really important to use those stories.
Right. So let's say we've got the story we want to tell or whatever, and now we need to set about actually like sitting down and creating the plan. What sorts of activities are we going to be putting in this plan, and how often do we decide that we should be doing these different activities?
Yeah, great question. So frequency is always like, first it's like, what do I post? And then people say, when do I post? And then just so you know, the next question is, where do I post? So let's talk about that, because first and foremost, you need to identify where your ideal client is. Are they spending time on LinkedIn? Are they spending time on Facebook? Maybe they're on Instagram. So depending upon which platform your ideal client is spending their time, you need to create content for that platform. And I love this, that not all content is created equal. Do not put the same post from Instagram over onto Facebook. It doesn't work that way. Engagement on Facebook is very different than engagement on Instagram.
Right.
Engagement on Instagram is very different from engagement on LinkedIn. So you definitely have to make sure that you are talking to your client on the platform that you're working on. So let's do LinkedIn first, because I think professionally, maybe many of your members or people watching might be on LinkedIn, networking on LinkedIn. Maybe you are trying to reach an office, like an office building that needs support with installing Windows 10. I don't know. We'll just use that as an example.
Sure.
I don't even know if people do that, but you could be hired as a project, right?
Yep.
So if you're networking, you want to tell the story on LinkedIn, and it might be a LinkedIn post that's a blog article that links back to your website. Now, if you don't have the capability to write a blog post, it's okay. Find a valuable article. This is really important information. Doesn't matter what platform. Be a resource. Number one, you got to be a value and a resource. And what that means is you want to make sure that whatever it is you're sharing on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, it's what you would have written if you could have written it yourself. And don't beat yourself up over not being able to be the originator of the article. You can say, I found this article on on Boston Business Journal, and it's exactly what I would have written if I could have written it myself, but it shares 3 reasons why you need to hire an IT professional, or you need to service your machines every 3 months or 6 months. Whatever the point is, use these professional, valuable articles and be seen as a resource on LinkedIn. That would be my LinkedIn example. Now,
Great.
Are you going to post 10 times on LinkedIn in a day? No way. You're not. It's just not the way the news feed is designed. If I was an IT professional, if I was in computer services and computer tech, I'd probably share 3 valuable pieces of information a week on LinkedIn. That would be it.
Yeah,
3.
sure.
Now, if you're members of a group and something comes up and it's amazing and it's something you want to make an offer to people in a group, pop in there and offer the group the article or the program that you're offering. But I wouldn't post more than 3 times a week on LinkedIn for your industry. It just wouldn't make sense.
And I like that, because a lot of people feel overwhelmed that they need to be posting every day or a few times a day, and otherwise they just might as well not be posting at all. And so it's good to hear, that perspective of other folks, that you don't need to be posting all the time. In fact, I always prefer quality over quantity in social media. So just make sure you're sharing useful stuff, and people are going to look forward to that. And they're going to be, oh, did they post something yet? Oh, I can't wait till they post the next thing. And it could be a few days later.
Yeah.
But you keep sharing that stuff, and they're going to look to you as that expert.
I know. I love being a resource. That's primarily number one. I mean, building relationships, you can't do that without being a resource. And, there's that mantra of give, and then get. So the more you give, the more value you give, the more of a resource you are, the more apt you are going to be to receive when people need you. Because it's really about staying in the heads of the people, your current customers, right? Your current fans, so that when they are someplace, wherever that is, they could be at a business meeting or a networking meeting, and someone says, hey, I need someone who blank, whatever that is.
Right.
That's right here. It doesn't matter, if you don't need to be posting 10 times a day to stay here if you're offering value.
That's a good way to look at it. So you're not necessarily even speaking directly to your potential client. You're maybe speaking directly to a potential client referral. So, these people who are following you online and getting this info might not necessarily ever hire you. They might just end up referring you out to folks they know. And that's something that, like, even me, I hadn't really thought of that, is when I'm posting, I'm always posting and hoping that the people who see it are going to be my client. But, you can have a second, third level kind of network
it's
thing
the ripple effect. You need to, so 2 things about that is they become your brand advocates because they are connected to your page for one reason or another. Like I always say, your sphere, your people, whoever they are that follow you, could be friends and family. You want to make sure they know what you do. So that's the piece about telling stories. A lot of industries, doesn't matter if it's tech, if it's food, if it's wellness, if it's real estate, we take the process for granted. All of us do. We all do. If you hold that in and you don't share that, then the people who are following you, who are listening, don't know what you do, and then they can't refer to you. They don't know what you do, so they don't know what value you bring to the table. And like you said, people love to give their opinions. People also love to be the connector. I'm a connector. I know a lot of people. I have finally in my adult life realized that I can't do everything for everybody. So I make sure I connect people. And I say no, like saying no, I don't do that. But I know someone who does, who I would totally recommend to you, is tremendously valuable.
Love it. Yep. I agree. And that's something that we preach on here all the time is, focus on a niche and master it and be the best person in that, be the go-to resource, and everything else, either have referral partners or find someone who knows how to do it and build up that network. And it ends up being a mutual thing, right? You refer people to them, they refer people to you.
All the time. And it's really what my business has been built on is being able to confidently refer people to, designers, web programmers, people who will help you, with legal matters, like you'd be surprised what my clients will have asked me for. And I'm much happier and I'm serving my people better because I'm focusing on what I do best. And it's a gift to those people who you refer to because that's their specialty.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's the circle of life or circle of business, whatever you want to call it.
Right. I love having that network. It's super powerful.
So one thing that I get a lot from folks is they jump on social media and they start sharing stuff and they go for a while and then they don't get any kind of engagement or any kind of feedback. They don't know if what they're doing is working and they eventually get jaded and stop doing it. So maybe a couple questions around that is number one, how do you know if it's working? And number two, if it's not working or you're not getting engagement, are there things you can do to try to stoke the engagement? And then when you just give up and say like, hey, it's not working, let me focus somewhere else.
Yeah. So that's something that I love to talk about. And I'm going to talk to you about something in a second. But before I get into it, I want to say that a few minutes ago, I mentioned you need to identify where your ideal client is spending their time. I am not a fan of being on every platform if you're doing it yourself. It is not possible to do it all correctly and be creative on each platform and curate the text and the pictures to accommodate the audiences based on the platform. So unless you have a team of people helping you, which many of us don't, let's be honest, it's not healthy, or you can't run your business and do all the social media all the time. So I do use schedulers. I will admit that. I have a scheduler that I use called Post Planner that I've been using for 4 years that helps me curate content based on my audience and the platform that I post to. That's part of my magic weapon, is not trying to do it all by myself. I am an affiliate for it. I actually train for it. Anybody who signs up with my affiliate link, I will do a free demo for them so that they can see how to make it work for their business. I am not ashamed that I use a scheduler. I curate the content. I type it all in, but I can't be online all the time to push my content out because I'm busy taking care of my people.
Yep.
I do, however, do all the engaging and the conversation and relationship building on my own. I don't have anybody doing that for me because that's the part I love. That's what fills me up. Now, the question that you asked, which brought me here, is, when things aren't working, why isn't it working, or how to measure if it's working. And I have clients that say, I'm doing everything. I'm posting on every platform. Why isn't it working? And I will tell you that I have a little acronym called SAIL that if anyone's on here that has followed me at all, I've said this before and I love it. The word SAIL, S-A-L-N-E. The S represents share. Share valuable content. Don't be afraid to do it, whether it's your own content or someone else's. That's the S. The A is ask. This is a big one for business owners. They're often afraid to ask questions because they're afraid of the answers they might get when they ask a question. But if we were to focus just on Facebook, if you have groups, you can do polls, right? You can do the select an item from a poll, or on your business page, you can just make it easy and say, what do you want to learn most about building your website? And you could do A, B, C, or D, and then fill in the A, B, C, or D, and then ask them to comment with which one they want to learn most of, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the ask, but it's also when you're sharing a story, ask how they feel about the story you're sharing, or ask them what they're doing in their life to maintain their PC, or do they use, little headphones or maybe the big headphones, whatever it is that you want to know about. Ask something that you could then create a conversation. So the S is share valuable information, either yours or someone else's. The A is ask questions, and don't be afraid to ask.
And really quick about the ask the question. That's something that I just discovered recently on the live stream here is, I would start the live stream and I'd get going and I'd say, hey, if you have any questions, let us know. And then I'd move on. Nobody asked questions. Then when I started saying, hey, where are you guys joining us from? What's your name? Asking questions that people can answer, very easy questions, that get them involved. Then they would start posting that. And then after that, once that barrier is broken, then they start asking questions, then they get more involved. And it's just as simple as asking some simple question, getting them involved, and then that kind of just gets them through that barrier and then opens up the floodgates.
So it's interesting because I know you and I talked earlier about people love to give their opinions. So let them. I mean, we all know if you're on a business page on Facebook or even Instagram or LinkedIn, you know how valuable that like is. You know how hard it is to get that like, that someone came over to your page and said, yes, I want to be connected to you. So ask them their opinions, ask what they want. So then the next letter is L, which is listen. The best salespeople are the ones who open up their ears and listen to what their audience has to say. So I think I said this earlier, social media and marketing is a two-way conversation. If you're just putting content out and not asking questions and then not listening to the answers, that's why you're failing. And social media cannot be a set it and forget it strategy. So back to the frequency of posting, this is all coming full circle. If you can't engage with posts every single day, do not put posts out every single day. The energy you put out is the energy you'll get back. Right. So that's a really important piece about frequency. So I'll finish. Want me to finish so then the E, the last piece, yes. SALE. Any guesses? Engagement, yes. So you're going to share, you're going to ask, you're going to listen, and you're going to engage. And that's the two-way conversation piece. And you mentioned with the networking that someone said, go, and when they say, tell me about you, and you say, no, tell me about you. That's the engagement piece. And I have to tell you that I think of social media as a very noisy cocktail party, one that you may not ever want to go to. But if you were told that someone that could help your business was going to be at that cocktail party, you would go, right? You would go because you'd want to meet that person. So if you walk into the room and there's a beautiful room, noisy, music, drinks, everyone's joyful, and you spot that person that you want to network with, you're going to go right to that person. You're not going to stop and talk to anybody along the way. You're going to go right to that person. And you're going to ask them how they are. How are you? When did you get here? What are you drinking? Right? That is social media marketing. That's just in person. And I know a lot of us like to hide behind the posts and hide behind the graphics. It's not what it's about. It's about creating relationships, building relationships, and sharing information, asking questions, listening to the responses, and engaging. And that's how you are implementing a successful social media strategy.
Awesome. I love it. Great stuff. We're going to have links to all the stuff you mentioned in the show notes. You mentioned the free content calendar tool that we'll have in the show notes as well. What can people expect from that?
Yeah, so that is a guide. It's really 3 pages. I have an idea sheet that you can put all those ideas down. I know, Matt, you said you wake up today and you're like, oh, I have an idea. So instead of going and rushing and working super hard and stressing out about creating a graphic and hashtags and all of that, you put it on your idea sheet. There's a second sheet that is an annual calendar, a big view of January through December, so that you can look at the year and say, okay, what do I want to market each month or each quarter? So you can look big picture. And then the third and these are free downloads that are in PDF form that you can print out and you can write on. The third is the month, and it's week 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can really map out where you need to be and when for your social media marketing. I have clients that have actually taken the monthly sheet, put it in like an 8x10 frame, and use a dry erase marker and keep it right by their desktop.
Nice.
And they just reuse it each month. I also have other clients that have a content calendar for each platform. You know, if you're on multiple platforms, you want to have a strategy. It can be the similar strategy, but your messaging or your graphics might be different. So this doesn't work for everybody, but people who are visual, who like to map things out and have some sort of a high-level strategy, these 3 sheets work really well.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you can drop that link in there, people can certainly grab it. It also will have an invitation for them to join that free group that I offer, social post ideas.
Right.
I have a variety of industries in that group. And I will say, if anybody joins, if you go back in the pictures, I give 17 free ideas at the beginning of the year. We started January 1st through January 17th, and there's a different idea for every day. And people did a challenge where they went, and I give examples. So like, doesn't matter what industry you're in, I give really good examples of sharing a quote, but not just sharing a quote, right? Like talking about like where the quote came from and what it means to you, or sharing behind the scenes in your business or process in your business.
Right.
Or I love this one, testimonials or awards that you've won, honorable mentions, like celebrate in your business. And people want to be around that. They want to see what great things you're doing, and they want to be a part of it. And then guess what? You stay in their heads, and then they want to refer to you.
Very cool. I love it. Yeah. So with all of those ideas, you're really never going to be hard pressed to think of something to share. And it kind of, once you get into once you get on a roll with that stuff, then it starts becoming easier, because you remember the things you shared before, and then you get a new testimonial, or you have a new story, or you have something that happened in the shop, and you're like, hey, that would make a great post. And then really you end up having too many things to post.
Well, it's funny because people, they get stuck, and I'm like, go back to your last 5 posts. Which one was the most engaged? Do that theme again, or work on that post idea again. So if you are showing a time lapse of repairing a machine in the shop and people love it, do it again. I mean, you guys are just taking for granted what's happening day to day in your business. Right. Those of us that don't work in the shop, that don't work on computers, that don't know what you do, we're hungry for it. It's kind of like behind the scenes at a bakery. The people who do all the baking, they're tired of it. But I'm like, show me more. Decorate that cupcake more. I mean, how many videos have we all stopped in our newsfeed that have been like, wow, that's really cool. Like people making slime. I mean, it's just so silly, but it's entertaining, it's educational, it's valuable, and it connects me to your brand. So do it. Try it. Just test.
Just try it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Cool. So stick around. We're going to bring you back after the sponsor message to answer some quick questions.
Yep.
Before we do that, let's talk about our second sponsor. That is the DC Unconvention 2017. This is the convention for IT business owners of any size, whether you're a part-time business owner, a consultant, a mom and pop shop, an MSP. This is the place for you to discover new tips and tricks for growing your business. And there's really 2 sides to the Unconvention. One is that you can learn and get some tips and tricks to grow your business. The second side, and almost more importantly, is the networking that you can do and the camaraderie that you'll feel, because everyone in the room, it's a small room with less than 100 people are going to be there, and you're all talking about the same kind of industry. You all have the same problems, and you're going to work through it together. And that's kind of what we're aiming to do with the Unconvention. Lots of small groups. We'll have labs, small groups, discussions, conversations. really everything. Even we have a couple talks, and even the talks are going to have large Q&A sections at the end where we really engage with you. In fact, I think Corey Fruitman is going to, who's the other person who's putting this on with Tech Site Builder, Corey Fruitman of Instant House Call. He's going to buy, it's this cool thing. It's like a plush box that you put a wireless microphone in, and then you throw it. And so you can throw it around the room and people can catch it and use that as the microphone to say something. So it really like is going to spur conversations, and,
cool.
and you can just like throw it to somebody randomly, and then, they have the microphone. They got to say something. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting.
Fun.
We're trying stuff like that to really have it be an engaging and kind of a fun atmosphere, and get people participating. You can participate as much or as little as you want. You can just hang out and listen, and that's fine too. We kind of have it set up for everybody. So what it is, it's 2 days in Washington, D.C., September 16th to 17th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. And we're going to be in a co-working space, and we're going to have the big group together for the pod note, which is the opening keynote presentation with, instead of a keynote speaker, it's going to be all of us podcast hosts. So you'll have Mike from the Mike Tech Show, you'll have Marvin B. from the Podnuts Pro Show, you'll have me, and you'll have David Sims from HIPAA for MSPs. And we'll all be there kind of talking about the topic of how can you convey value in your business? How do you let your customers know the value of what you're selling so you can charge, premium prices for it? And we'll each kind of tackle that from our own perspectives. I'll take it from the marketing perspective. Mike will take it from a in the trenches, tech and computer business owner that he is. Dave Sims is going to take it from the compliance perspective. How do you sell compliance to different businesses? And we'll talk a little bit about that. After that, we're going to have a cool lunch where we're going to actually have all of the sponsors of the Unconvention available at different tables during lunch, where you can have a conversation with them. They'll be demoing their products and showing you around their products. And you can go back and forth between those different sponsor tables, or you could just hang out and eat lunch with some other computer business owners. It'll be a nice long lunch for that. And then after that, on Saturday afternoon, we're going to have our expert presentation from Brian Best of Best Macs. He was a guest on the show a couple episodes ago. He's going to tell us about his story of growing his business from break fix to retail to MSP, and then selling it, and then starting a product business, and all of the lessons he learned along the way, and how he was able to do all of that while focusing on a narrow niche of being a Mac specialist. So that's going to be a very exciting presentation. After that, we'll have working groups where we each break out into small groups around topics like pricing, marketing, and productivity. And we can share different strategies around how we have tackled those different topics. And we can also ask any questions we have and get those questions answered, and get the problems that we're having in our business addressed. And that's all on Saturday. I'd say that's enough for one entire convention, but that's just Saturday. Then Sunday we come back, we have a vendor conversation where one of our sponsors is going to be talking to you about their product and get your feedback. This was a big hit last year at the Unconvention, where we had Malware Bytes talking about their new tech tool set that they hadn't yet released yet, but they were getting ready to release. And they asked for people's feedback about it. They asked for people's feedback about their product in general. And they took that feedback and actually took action on it and implemented it and made their product better. So we're going to do that on Sunday. Then we're going to have hands-on labs where you can get your hands dirty, walking step by step through some different technical things like networking, SEO, what's the best tool for the job, that kind of thing. And then in the afternoon on Sunday, it's a little more relaxed. We're going to have a community AMA, Ask Me Anything, where basically everyone who's presenting the entire conference is going to be up front. And then we can just kind of spitball different ideas, and you can ask those pressing questions that you have and get live answers. And then we'll have plenty of time for networking as well. Breakfast and lunch is included both days. And then in the evenings, we'll of course all go off and be debaucherous together, or whatever trouble we can get into in Washington, D.C. We'll be right there in downtown, and we'll be hanging out the entire weekend. So check that out at unconvention.io, and be sure to use the coupon code TSB to get $40 off your ticket to the Unconvention. And we'll see you there September 16th and 17th. All right. Before we end the show, Deb, I just wanted to give you the rapid fire questions. So these are quick questions that we just ask you to give, the first answer that comes off the top of your head to.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is the biggest mistake that you believe business owners are making with their marketing?
They're not being consistent.
Not being consistent. Love it. What kind of marketing do you believe gives you the biggest bang for your buck?
Today, I'd have to say video. Video marketing is number one on my list.
Nice. And I know the answer to one of my last questions, and that's going to tie into that. But why do you, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong list. What can you do in your marketing to find your ideal clients?
I love that. Ask more questions.
Yeah, I like it. That ties back to what we're talking about. Yep, ask those questions. Cool. What aspect, okay, now that I'm flipping the script here, what aspect of marketing are you struggling with?
Oh. Let me think. As the social media marketing expert, you know what I struggle with? I struggle with driving traffic to my website because I spend so much time on the social media platforms. That is actually something that I will honestly admit and say I need to work on that. I spend a lot of time on social media and email marketing, and even my email marketing drives traffic to my Facebook pages. So
right.
I need to get more traffic to my website, but
nice. Great. So
now that I've said it, I now need a confession.
Yeah. And now the reason I asked this question is this helps me think of topics for future podcasts. So keep listening to the podcast and we'll have that answer for you in a future episode, I'm sure. I'm making a note of that now, driving traffic to your website. Awesome. And then we talked about this a little bit before, but for the listening audience, who should I interview and why?
So my big fan right now, and actually I was on a live stream with him today, is Brandy Sales. He is a video marketing expert focusing strategically on smartphone videos for small business owners. I mean, it's brilliant. We all have a smartphone in our back pocket. And this is the tool that we should be using to market our business better and with video. So I would love for you to connect with him.
I'd love to learn more about that.
Yeah, he has an online smartphone video school, and he has a free group as well where he gives amazing tips on like how easy it is. I mean, it's silly. We all have it in our pocket, right?
Yeah.
But I think people are afraid, right? So he helps coach people through the fear of being on video, and he gives them ideas to not have to be on video yourself. Not everybody's as confident as you and I to be on camera. But he helps you come up with ways to tell your story and be seen online.
Awesome. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to him to be a guest. I'd love to learn more about that myself. Yeah. So great referral. Awesome. So before we go, first of all, thanks for being a guest. A lot of great actionable tips that even I'm going to start putting into practice here. So just remind folks how they can reach out to you, where they can find you if they want to learn more about what you do.
Well, I'm not going to say visit my website because, that would just take care of that question. But no, For the Love of Your Biz is my business. I'm on Facebook at For the Love of Your Biz. On Instagram, which I love because I'm a very visual learner and I learn everything with my eyes. So that's Love Your Biz on Instagram. But, people can join my free group. I'd love to have people join so that I can help them market their business better. I just give free ideas. And every once in a while, I'll do free biz coaching, which I would love to have your people join us.
Awesome. Definitely. It is very, very helpful and definitely a great resource. So check that out. Cool. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Podcast. Let's keep the conversation going, though. Head over to computerbusinessmarketing.com and let us know what you think in the comments section below the show notes. That's also where you can find all the links that we mentioned and all the resources that we talked about. Also, don't forget, you can send questions via email as well, via mail@techsitebuilder.com. That's the email address. Also, if you listen to this podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, let us know what you think. Leave a review. We love to hear your feedback, and every comment you leave helps us, go up the rankings in those different places so that we can be found by more people. More people can start listening. More people will start asking questions, and the circle just keeps going, and the more helpful we can be to everybody. Finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, techsitebuilder.com and unconvention.io. My name's Matthew Rodella. This has been the Computer Business Marketing Show, and I'm saying here's to your success.